Hello, people of the internet. This is the Geek Gaming Culture channel, and let's talk about Dr. Disrespect again because he just posted a answer to the allegations. If you do not know what's going on, Cody Connors, who was a former Twitch employee, 4 years after the fact, had said he knows the reason behind the ban, and it was because he had some inappropriate communications with a minor. At the time, we did not have any other corroboration or any hard evidence as to what was going on. But then it had a bit of a cascading effect. We started to learn more about what Cody Connors was trying to do here, which was a year before, he was trying to use his knowledge of the situation as a bit of a weapon in order to advertise his rock band and to get sellouts for his concerts and stuff like that. But then we started to see that Midnight Society severed him from their game dev studio. He was a co-founder of that. And then we learned that Turtle Beach had removed their sponsorship for him, and he seemingly retired as a streamer, kind of putting on a hiatus or something like that. I don't know if he completely retired from the scene or if he's taken a step back, more or less the latter. But it's sad to, first of all, see a lot of the content creators and a lot of people on X who are seeing this and just saying, hey, he's guilty, oh, he's a pedo, or whatever you may think of him, mainly because they don't like him to begin with and they need a reason to confirm their bias without looking into the facts of the matter or the speculatory nature of stuff like this, and how it's really hard to fight these allegations even if you're completely innocent because of the nature of the crime, because of the nature of the accusation. The only way you'll get hard evidence is if you reveal the name of the person that was the victim or the accuser. A person has the right to face their accuser, but then you also get into the morality of it and also the messiness of legality of certain things in each state. I don't want to go too much into that minefield, but through it all, I'm very disappointed in seeing all these people, both in the media and on social media, just quickly saying that he's guilty. And not only that, but they're making stuff up along with what Cody Connors has said. Where are you getting this information from? Where you hearing this new stuff from that we never heard? And they're assuming that he's guilty before they even hear any kind of evidence. I would hate to have them be on a jury because they won't even listen to any evidence. They will just say, oh, I'm guilty, and then just try to confirm their bias. I don't understand that. Why are we so divisive on every single issue? You won't listen to anybody. You're making stuff up over top of what you've already heard, which is speculatory until you get some hard evidence. And even some people I follow have assumed guilt because they don't like him and they think that he's problematic for whatever reason. Now, there is this thing going around that he and Nick Merckx was saying something about leave the kids alone, and I'm not going to say anything more about that because you know where that's headed. But that seemingly, to some people, is the reason why Cody Connors is going hard on about this. The one other thing, before I get into this statement with Dr. Disrespect said, is that I had thought that Cody Connors was going around and trying to threaten some of these companies. And the reason why I believe that is because if you saw his tweet about doubling down and saying something about the images that were going around saying that he tried to bribe people into selling out his concerts, that he didn't exactly leave Twitch on bad terms. He was still simping for Twitch. So I thought perhaps there was some nepotism going around, and whoever Dr. Disrespect was supposed to be in contact with was somebody related to a high employee at Twitch who still had some power and still knew who Cody Connors was and was trying to get away with threatening some other people, threatening some companies financially. So if that was the case, then you would have a whole mess of new allegations, a whole mess of new charges you could press on him, maybe criminal instead of civil. However, at 2:23 p.m., Dr. Disrespect posted this tweet. Now, anybody who knows Dr. D knows that he sprinkles a lot of profanity in his statements, but I'm going to try my best in order to clean it up so you can have a more PG version of what he said here. but I'm going to read it to you in full, and then we'll talk about it on the flip side, saying, quote, "The Twitch ban. Hello, I'd like to make a quick statement. Let's cut the effing BS. As you know, there's no filter with me. I've always been upfront and real with you guys on anything that I can be upfront about, and I'm always willing to accept responsibility, which is why I'm here now. First and foremost, I do want to apologize to everyone in my community as well as those close to me, my team, and everyone at Midnight Society Game Studio. A lot of people have been left in the dark about what happened yesterday with Midnight Society and I, and we made the painful decision collectively to have me step down. Our team is full of incredibly talented and good people that have high career ambitions and families, and I never want to jeopardize the culture we have carefully crafted. Everyone has been wanting to know why I was banned from Twitch, but for reasons outside of my control, I was not allowed to say anything for the last several years. Now that 2 former Twitch employees have publicly disclosed the accusations, I can now tell you my side of the story regarding the ban. Were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual minor back in 2017? The answer is yes. Were there real intentions behind these messages? The answer is absolutely not. These were casual, mutual conversations that sometimes leaned too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. Nothing illegal happened, no pictures were shared, no crimes were committed. I never even met the individual. I went through a lengthy arbitration regarding a civil dispute with Twitch, and that case was resolved by a settlement. Let me be clear, it was not a criminal case against me, and no criminal charges have ever been brought against me. Now, from a moral standpoint, I'll absolutely take responsibility. I should have never entertained these conversations to begin with. That's on me. That's on me as an adult, a husband, and a father. It should have never happened. I get it. I'm not perfect. I now effing own my whatever. This was stupid. Now, with all this said, don't get it mistaken. I've seen all the remarks and labels being thrown about loosely. Social media is a destruction zone. I'm no predator or pedophile. Are you kidding me? Anyone that truly knows me knows where I stand on those things with those types of people. F that. That's a different level of disgusting that I hate even hearing about. Don't be labeling me as the worst of the worst with your exaggerations. Get out of here with that. But I think I've said what I needed to say regarding the ban itself. That's it. That's why Twitch made the decision in 2020. To my team, community, industry friends that have supported me, I apologize. I wish I could have said all this sooner. You guys have always showed me and my family love and support throughout all these years. We love you guys like you can't imagine. I have the best community and circle. If any of this has made you uncomfortable, I get it. You don't have to support me anymore, but you know you have always been greatly appreciated. But trust me when I say this. To all my haters that live and breathe social media with zero real life experiences, I don't give a F about you. Finally, if you're uncomfortable with this entire statement and think I'm a piece of whatever, that's fine. But I'm not going anywhere. I'm not the same guy that made this mistake all those years ago. I'm taking an extended vacation with my family as mentioned on stream, and I'm coming back with a heavy weight off my shoulders. They want me to disappear? Yeah, right. Now, when I looked at this initially, and I recorded a whole spiel about all this, before I went and looked at some of the reactions, and they're not good. He had edited this a couple of times, taking out the word minor and putting it back in, and it didn't look good for him. However, I took a look again at this tweet. You notice something really interesting about this. In that the direction of being inappropriate, nothing more. Keep in mind, he's never mentioning the word sexually inappropriate. The codifier, the qualifier, if you will. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because before this, or maybe it's after this, there was this email that seemed to be popping up. Now, this is not confirmed to be real, but from what we can gather, there's a lot of reason to speculate that this is a real email that went out. And this puts a little bit more context into some things. I want to bring this up because I don't think anybody else who is covering this story is bringing this up. Now, the person who had brought this email to our attention is from a guy on X, Stan Price, saying, massive potential Dr. Disrespect leak, email from alleged former Twitch staff. Alleges many Twitch staff absolutely can't stand Doc and were looking for any reason to ruin him. Says no sexting was involved, rumors were spread on purpose. To be clear, this is not verified in any way, completely anonymous email. Now, we're gonna read this anyway because I believe this has a lot of context that gets added in with this. It starts with, I'm sending this to multiple known sources in the gaming news arena. I hope this is taken in the spirit in which it is intended. I will keep this inbox open for 12 hours from now, then it will be gone forever. Here's what actually happened, but what cannot be said publicly by the Dr. Disrespect camp. There were whispers between Guy and a 17-year-old on Twitch. The age was not known at the time. These were messages in relation to how to scale new channels using tried and tested methods. Behind the scenes, this was a service that was offered by members of the Dr. Disrespect team under a different brand name. The brand name used could be interpreted in many ways. The transcripts were part of the court proceedings and as outlined showed no wrongdoing nor illegality. The issues on the Twitch side was how some of the messages and brand name used could be interpreted differently and was interpreted differently by certain members of the Twitch team that had taken to dislike the Dr. Disrespect due to the bathroom incident. The internal feeling was that it would only be a matter of time before they got him on something. This one, however, was way wide of the mark and wasn't what they thought it was. This became the result of a lot of back and forth at Twitch with various people in the Let's Get Him camp and others in the We Can't Move Forward with This camp. His whispers were being monitored because of a core group of influential people within Twitch wanting him gone. The whispers in question were actually from many weeks prior to his last stream. The initial explanation provided to him during the termination communication was inappropriate behavior not befitting of the Twitch brand. He's right in what he said at the time of his go live on YouTube of we still don't know, because for a long time Twitch could not commit to an explanation over and above the inappropriate behavior not befitting of the Twitch brand until the matter went to court. The matter went to court and was found in discovery that not only did a group of Twitch employees conspire to get him, but they also broke data protection, internal policy, and CCPA regulations by disclosing to a third party who he also had a contact with what they perceived to have happened. Internally, the argument on their side became why else would he be messaging someone that young, implying only a sinister perspective. For the avoidance of doubt, there was no sexting as implied by a former Twitch employee. There were messages, but not of that nature. Dr. Disrespect was the one who initiated legal proceedings and settled because of the fact that once something like this is said about someone, it cannot be unsaid. And there would always be some, perhaps not fans, who would say, well, there's no smoke without fire. We have seen many people accused of things that turned out to not be true in the past, but by that time the damage was done. He agreed to the no party admits any wrongdoing joint statement purely because he understandably wanted all of this kept quiet. The fact that a former Twitch staff member has now made this tweet has changed things considerably. It's out there now and can't be walked back. Dr. Disrespect is furious that he cannot respond to this properly because his lawyers are telling him that it'll make the agreement invalid and he may be forced to pay back the settlement that he won. I'll say that again, that he won. There will be legal avenues explored on this one and it will likely ultimately manifest itself in a huge damages claim against Twitch for this coming out. It's clear in the industry that they were absolutely raging when he reappeared on YouTube and came back bigger than ever. When he publicly backed Nick Merckx recently, the same group of current and ex-Twitch employees tried to identify if their compromise separation agreements from Twitch will be nullified if they spoke out, and only one had the guts to try after testing the waters numerous times before to sell concert tickets. This person would have largely been fine legally if he had not mentioned the word sexting, because it was all about damaging Dr. Disrespect's reputation. But because they used that word, expect legal proceedings to get underway quickly, because the transcript will absolutely categorically show that there was no sexting, but merely communications with someone who turned out to be a minor. That was not known at the time, that certain people within Twitch who had an agenda against Dr. Disrespect pounced and made it fit their agenda with zero proof. I am a former Twitch employee. I now work elsewhere. I will not be identifying myself, and I will not answer any questions about who I am. However, I will answer some questions in relation to this case, and I was very close to this at the time. He deserves the right to have some transparency, but he's tied legally in what he can say under the new proceedings progress. He has the right to some of the story being out there, even if he can't be the one to say so. I'm sending this as an independent party who is fully aware of the facts and feel very uncomfortable with what I've seen thrown at him in the past few days, based on the agenda of a small group of people who did not like him. You should also ask yourself, why are some of these people no longer at Twitch? Because they broke policy and in some cases the law by breaching data protection regulations. Many people were dealt with as a result of this and lost their jobs. You have a duty to balance the reporting of this until such times as court proceedings provide the clarity you should have waited for but didn't. He's been good to you all. He's not what is said, and he deserves better, especially considered he agreed for their behavior not to be made public, as he wanted to protect the income streams of others. The Midnight Society piece is an example of a lot of people getting cold feet. They asked him about it, and he told them messages existed, but they weren't in the nature reported, but couldn't share them as part of the settlement, and the decision was made to put out that statement in haste. That was an impulsive move that they'll regret later. Okay, that was a lot to take in. Now that, in addition to what Dr. Disrespect said, all of a sudden this has a bit more context. And that's why I wanted to read this statement, because not many people who are doing videos on this are reading this email, because they do not know if this is true or not. But I do want to get this on the record, because first things first, I told you, if this was 16 or 17 year olds, then it falls under that window in which some states will allow that. And if you don't like it, you need to have the rules changed. You need to have the laws changed in those states. I'm sorry. You can't shoot the messenger here. I'm just telling you what the law states. If you don't like it, you have to go to those states and tell them, hey, I don't like that you have the age that low. And if you're living in one of those states, you're conditioned to believe that that's okay, because the state tells you it is. Now, is your moral belief, your moral upbringing saying something different? Maybe, but the state's telling you it's okay. What are you supposed to do at that point? And to those people who are saying, hey, that only means you can have sex, but not of somebody over 18, how does that make sense? So, yeah, first of all, that definitely changes the complexity of this, since now you gotta wonder, where state is this person living in? But here's the other thing. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes of all this, is that, remember when I said Dr. Disrespect said there was nothing sexually inappropriate, but just said inappropriate? What do you bet? That the inappropriateness is not coming from anything sexual, but rather from what he was trying to do here, which was to test something out, some sort of messaging thing out that had nothing to do with anything sexual, but rather something that was inappropriate in the context of his agreement with Twitch, his contract, and what he was planning on doing and trying to get another contract that was better paying, that was a higher paying contract. And Twitch did not like him because of this bathroom thing. I don't know the details about that. I'm not even gonna get into that. That's a whole another rabbit hole. I heard about that, but I'm not really gonna get into that. And they found that they could say something about this that made it sound like that he was doing something sexually inappropriate. If that was the case, if this is real, then he has a case. Dr. Disrespect has a case. That's why I'm going to scale back on my saying that Dr. Disrespect needs to be put in a word chipper or something like that, because this email comes out and this changes the context of things. If Twitch wanted him gone and this person screwed up, this Cody Corners guy screwed up and put the word sexting in there, and now Disrespect has to do whatever he needs to do in order to explain all this, then yeah, he does have a case. And that's why I believe that the people who are making videos right now and posting X posts right now saying, hey, I can't support them anymore, may be premature because they need to read this email. And then we need to get this confirmed one way or the other, if this is true, if it's not true. If it's not true, then I will amend my thing later on. But right now, I'm looking through all this. This is a lot to just make up. And if this email went out there trying to get journalists to say this is what's going on, and they sat on this, then it's not Dr. Disrespect that needs to be shamed. It's Kotaku, it's Aftermath, it's Polygons. Now Aftermath is complicit in this because they're the ones that say that they're not hiding stuff from us, but are they hiding this? No, you don't have to say, oh, it's true or whatever. It's like, hey, we can't confirm this, but there's this email out there. They're saying what they want you to hear. They are hiding this from you. That's why I'm posting this, so you know that this is out there. So you know that this is something that's going around. And shame on them from hiding this from you. Even if they can't confirm it right now, that hasn't stopped news outlets before from sharing it to you. Saying, hey, we can't confirm this right now. We're trying to confirm it, but this is out there. Just get it on the record. Make it official. Make it official that this is out there. And let them make up their own minds. But to hide this from them, to hide this specific email that says, hey, there was these Twitch employees that really didn't like him, and they wanted to find a way to get at him, and they found a way in order to spin all this and to smear all this into something that it wasn't. It may not have never been anything sexual. It had something to do financially. That there's another way it could be inappropriate. Inappropriate behavior not befitting of the Twitch brand may also mean he's trying to be financially independent, doesn't have to need Twitch to be financially independent or financially stable, and he can do whatever he wants to do. He doesn't need Twitch in order to do that. That he can have some leverage in a contract dispute or a contract negotiation, that he can go wherever he wants. And Twitch didn't like that, and Twitch is doing whatever they can to sabotage his career because they didn't like the fact that he's successful elsewhere. And not only that, imagine what YouTube might be feeling about that. If Twitch trying to say, hey, YouTube, we hold a monopoly here. You're not allowed to have a streaming service, popular streaming service. We're going to do whatever we can in order to make sure that your particular platform is sabotaged as well. That not just puts Dr. Disrespect in a position that he can sue Twitch. YouTube can sue Twitch because that is their platform. Because they are saying that YouTube, you're harboring this person, knowing what he did. And right now, YouTube Gaming is not saying anything right now. You notice that all the stuff going on right now. You got Turtle Beach severing ties with him, Midnight Society severing ties with him, and they're sticking by what they're saying. But YouTube is not saying anything right now. As far as I'm aware right in the moment, that may change by the time you watch this. So, unlike other people, and you may not like what I'm saying here, but until we can figure out whether this email is accurate, and there might be reasons that it is, because this is probably what Dr. Disrespect saw that made him want to post that ever-changing tweet. If this is the case here, now people are not even looking at this email, they're just seeing what he's saying and saying, oh, well, that means he sexed a minor. Like, wait a minute, whether or not he did that, first of all, he never said that he knew that this person was a minor. Second of all, did he say the word sexually? Did he say that word? No, he did not. He just said the manner of the conversation was inappropriate. He never said the nature, the context of the conversation. And from this email, if it's true, I'm going to, again, put this out there that it could all be made up, and we could be looking at somebody who was really trying to protect him. But right in the moment, if this is true, that's why I want it on the record. If this is true, then we have a whole new set of context we can put to this. That Dr. Disrespect was in touch with this minor, but for a whole different matter. What was the brand name of this? Who were these Twitch employees? We probably know one of them is Cody Connors, who was trying to exploit all this. That's why I don't mind not being first with the information, because I might have a different opinion than other people. Different perspective. I might have different interpretation. This puts a lot of stuff into a little bit more perspective if it's true. Now, this puts in a little bit of different perspective too as to whether or not we should have access to the actual conversation. But there's people who are saying, hey, he's this or that. May want to look at this email. May want to look at this. So I'm going to hold my judgment on this still. I know it's going to make a lot of people upset about me, But I want to see the context of this whole thing, because now I'm a little bit suspicious about what exactly the language means. I don't think we have all the information yet. If this email is accurate, if this is true, if this is real, then I think Dr. Disrespect has a huge lawsuit that he can file. But not just Dr. Disrespect. I think YouTube has a case. But I would love to hear what you people think, okay? Do you think this email is accurate? Who do you believe right now? And do you believe that this email, if true, assume it's true for a second, does that change your perspective of what Dr. Disrespect just said? If there was nothing of sexual content happening, then do you think this has to do with him trying to get a better deal with Twitch, and Twitch didn't like that because they were soured for whatever the bathroom incident was, and they were trying to find it out, and they saw this and they thought, we can get him for this? I would love to know who the person was that sent this. And he's not going to answer, or she's not answering questions. Oh boy, I think you have a lot of questions to answer, whoever wrote this. And if it turns out that somebody's faking all this, we need to know who you are too, because you're leading us down a path that is going to get really, really messy, really, really interesting in a hurry. So what do you guys think of this? I love to know what your thoughts are. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell. I'll talk to you later, and as always, to be continued.